So hello and welcome to the Donny Chaingang with me, Matt Payne. We're live from the Full Speed Events studios down in the old beer cellar and still staying dry. For those people who keep on asking, we've had an absolutely manic time, as some of you may have known. We've been broadcasting at the weekend. We had some esports that we were covering, as well as the UCI Gravel World Championships, and we had a little request come in to do some of the highlight show, which we've done. So great to see that the riders enjoyed it, and hopefully you're going to get out there. I've never used it. I don't like the gravel word, but actually it's just what we all do. Get out, ride the bikes. Just don't bother whether it's on road or off road. Just get out and ride, which has been great. But it does mean that you're looking at a seriously sleep deprived Matt, which is not good for anybody. Looking at me after having 3 hours sleep last night, not good news. So I'll tell you what we'll do. Let's get on and do something far more important instead, and tell you, first of all, about these guys. They support the Donny Chaingang Supporters Club. They are the people who look after the members, who look after the gang, who make it all possible. So please, guys, remember, support the people who support the gang, and we can keep on doing this for us and I for as long as we're physically possible, until we go absolutely, completely insane, which probably won't take that long, the pace that we're pushing Russ and myself incredibly busy. Fortunately, we're supported by a huge group of people, and that does, of course, include the team who bring us the maps. Zwift, of course, instrumental in making the gang happen. And, of course, got to say a big thank you to the guys who provide us with our maps. That's Zwift Hacks. Make sure you jump on the site now. It's a brilliant resource. If, like us, you're looking at your routes, what you've done, what you haven't done, where you're going to go, make sure you jump on there. Jump on the Zwift Insider as well. Really good for updates on there. And we're in downtown Titans tonight, which is a new route for the Chaingang. And is one of those cracking little routes that is much harder than it looks at first glance. It's going to be interesting to see how Russ can hold the gang together. So Russ, our beacon, it is Russ Downing, a.k.a. The Bear, a.k.a. Fonzie. Don't poke him, please. Be nice to him. We've all had a tough week. It's a tough route. We lead in from the pens. We head out and basically around Watopia. It's essentially a figure of 8. So out from the pens, out from the start line, we then drop in through the Fuego flat, but take the right-hand turn before you hit the sand and go through Titans Grove. You come round, drop down towards town. You come down and then we go up the short old hilly KOM. We come round, go through the sprint. We drop down in and around and go through 2 laps. This is 50k. It's huge elevation as well, 508 metres. This is going to rip some legs. Russ in charge of keeping it all together at the front. At the back, well, who better than Adi Dench? It's been a real family affair because we had the WoW DCG yesterday, and I got to say, Killer Skinner, new nickname for Millie Skinner, was absolutely awesome as a yellow beacon and finished it off in style, winning the sprint up to the top of Titans Grove. Very similar part of the course as we're going to use today, and in fact going in the same direction that we go today around Titans Grove. Millie on a fine form, doing a great job leading, loads of communication, brilliant stuff. Eddie running the bus for the Bikes and Beers, and a very fast man, so hopefully he'll have his legs on. And we've got a few people coming back to jump in. So we're going to have a lot of our riders joining back in with it. Let's see how they're going to go on tonight. Going to have Chris Ball back in. Take it easy, mate. Get that bus section booked and don't do too much too soon. One of the reasons that it is so tough is because, well, you can see it up there. Up there even. Get the right side, Matt. Come on. It is, of course, our profile from the wonderful team at VeloViewer. Now, one of the great things about VeloViewer is that not only can you get in and dive in and get all this detail, you can also manipulate it and turn it into whatever you want. This is not much use to us because it is such a complicated route. We could spin this if we were on the website and it'd be really easy. So maybe this is a little bit easier to see. We're doing 2 laps of this. Out from the start, over Titans Grove, summit at 6.8k. Then we drop back down in through under the tunnels between 13 and 15k. Then between 16 and 17 up the reverse old hilly KOM, then dropping back down through the sprints, through the S's back into town, and then we're doing it all over again. This will not be easy. Fortunately, we have our riders all in there. This is going to be tough stuff. My expectation is this could be a good 2-hour ride tonight for a lot of people. So let's see how our riders get on. We're into that last minute. The countdown is on. You can see our riders just down in the pens. Let's take a little bit of a spin around and a little bit of a closer look. You can see, I think, Tiff Fletcher in there, Mark Grant in there, Ian Bell, Dick Samuel, Mick Clark in there, Stefano in, Mike Killingsworth, Carl Johnson. A real mix of riders in there. Sharp, Steve Hilbert. Looks like Tickers in as well. Dan Coleman on. Steve Wilson. Ryan Williams, Gary License. Ryan Williams, Bobby Mason. Ben Cokin in there. Simon Runnett. Looks like Tom Lindley. Neil from the Crosscasting. A cast of thousands. So we are running into that magic go time. This is going to be really interesting to see who is going to be able to take this out. We are now into the last few seconds. So away go our riders. Let's jump in with the riders as they set off from that start line. It'd be good if we actually managed to get somebody who's moving. Here we go. So our riders up and away. Let's dive in with them here on the Donny Chaingang. In with Greg Pillsworth. And this is the roll out from that start line. We're going to just try and dive our way towards the back of that group. Let's take a little bit of a check as the last of the riders make the way out and away from that start line. So here we go. So here we go. Everyone's out of the pen, apart from yours truly. Well, apart from the Full Speed Events avatar. My avatar does ride places. It actually does get some kind of day trip out. Unfortunately, the Full Speed Events one, it is a very lonely, very bored avatar. Proof, if anyone needed, sat there, getting very bored. And believe me, I'm not that light. Right, in with our red beacon. So, AD Dench keeping a check on our riders behind. There are a few people just late joining, just jumping in. May well be that it's better to jump out and jump back in again. Please, guys, if you've not already set off, you may well want to jump out and back in. AD just ticking along just near the back of the group of the bunch here, and quite rightly, I think, just being a little bit cagey about dropping back for people who really probably in a position they need to jump out and in. If you are more than 30 seconds behind, that is going to be Mr. Crossland, Mr. Hine, Mr. Booker and Mr. Coleman. I would jump out and back in again if you are not somewhere else on the road that we just can't see. So really important, guys, make sure that AD's got a chance here today. AD, if you're watching, jump up on to the group, guys, and jump up with the front group. I don't think I would be hanging around for the gang at the back. They're not going to make it at 45 seconds. I don't care how fast they ride. That's not going to happen. Greg Booker, Mike, he's super quick, mate. Greg, to be honest, you're probably better off jumping out and jumping back in again. You're a long way behind at this stage. So AD just jumping up onto the back of that bunch, and let's see what happens when this all settles down. You are indeed listening, AD. Well done, mate. So remember, if you are out the back of that group, jump out, jump back in again. Let's take a little bit of a look. Crossland is persisting here. Hind is coming up. Let's have a little bit of a check. Well, it looks like they're taking that turn. That's two. What's Greg Booker doing? Greg's miles away. What's he doing today? Come on, Greg. Mr. Booker. Chris Gale, you need to jump in as the late start, buddy. You ain't going to get on that group. So, this is going to be for, I think, the gang to work out how on earth they're going to do this. Because they've got a call. I think this is going to come down to Russ and AD making a decision between them here. Because we have two riders. Let's go for Crossland and Hind. John Hind and Crossland, I think it's John, if I remember correctly. I'll tell you in a minute, you never know. So at the moment, that gap at 47 seconds on the flat, very difficult to make back up again. Very, very difficult indeed. I personally think that is a big old ask. So John Hind and John Crossland are our two riders. They're 43, 44 seconds down on the bunch. And looks like Crossland is moving at some serious pace. You can see that yellow beacon. The problem is that this bunch is rolling at the moment, just on the back here of the group. And we're going to go running in towards the climb. Now, if you don't make it back on to the group, by the time you hit the top of the climb, as the riders go over the top, you're going to get distance. So, kind of where we're going. I would indeed suggest those who are behind jump out and back in again. They're moving at pace though here, AD. So AD watching the screens, they're on 4 watts per kilo in their pursuit here. So I suspect you may well find that they're going to make the way in. Can we have a detachment helping AD? Let's see if anybody's going to help them volunteer to help AD bring them back on, because it looks like these guys are going to push to get in. Now 22 seconds on tickers here, so just about to jump back out. I think they are trying to push it. Crossland at 11 seconds down. He's making ground on that red beacon. Looks like Eddie just easing off a little bit. Mark, Mr. Tickers, yeah, jump off, mate. Take it easy. Don't do damage. So here we go, just back it up to pace. I think John Hind is going to be the last of our riders. One of our Bolsover and district riders. There's quite a lot who come on here. So yeah, same message from Carl coming in, take it easy. So the pursuit is on behind. It takes a little bit of a while for the gang to settle down. We jump up with that helicopter. We're going to get a decent shot from over the top of the riders. So do you know what? After a whole day yesterday of having an absolute mare with tech, that's the only polite way I can put it, having an absolute mare. I have to say, today was relatively straightforward to get on to Swift and to get everything started, but it might have something to do with the fact we've had to wipe down the entire broadcast system stuff all over again. Because it was very tricky yesterday getting on to the system. Today, not so much problem either, or I'm just nowhere near as absolutely covered. So here we go. 80's come back for John Hind. John is an absolute legend, it has to be said. He's super, super quick, which 80 will no doubt just about to find out. So 80 and John Hind currently at 11 seconds. Russ keeping that gang controlled on the front here. So the work being done. They're going to need to get themselves together. Let's get that drone in. Let's pop it out the tree. We'll hit it in a tree today. We left it there last night when we were riding on the WOW DCG. At the end of that, we left it in behind in a tree. There was just an easier place to leave it because we knew we were coming back again today. A bit like leaving your rain jacket tucked in behind a dry stone wall or something. Not guilty of doing that a lot. Only ever lost one though in all those years. Lost one jacket, one set of arm warmers. Right, here we go. Red's coming back in. He's got John Hind in here. And they're going to be pushing back in. Both very strong riders here today. And here they come. So the gang working well. They're coming. They're incoming at a pace. So interesting coming from Dale Williams. The Ghost on Tuesday was savage. Why didn't you save it for another 2k on? Definitely a good question, that. Okay, so looks like the gang here don't drop. Yeah, definitely don't want to be dropped off the back here. You're going to be in trouble. Ryan Williams can get himself back on. Hudson can as well. He's got loads of power. So as Jeff say, so Billy No Mates squeezing on here. Looks like very tricky to get the group together, but if we move our map around, remember, all you need to do that is just click on the map, click on the screen itself in the map, and you'll find it turns from a 2D close-up, a 2D zoomed out, and a 3D zoomed in. So that is our full sort of run on the way through. So you can just about hear the woodpeckers in the background. I certainly can on the big cans in the studio here today. And the riders are riding well on the way in through here. Certainly makes the job really difficult coming rolling in. So remember, easy way when you're on that start. We have a 30-minute late start. So our riders on these twists and turns. Remember, this is lap one. Good to see that we've got quite a few of our supporters, our people who look after the members of the DCG gang in here. Good to see that we've got back Chris Idaho. Chris, welcome back, buddy. Good to have you back. Chris tucked in the group there in that Wahoo Lacal jersey, and good to see that he's in here. So Chris, of course, on Velaskin. The best thing to keep yourself comfy in the saddle. The best thing to have a shave, as you may have noticed on the camera, I'm looking like I haven't had a shave for about 2 days. Well, guess what? That's because I haven't. Because I didn't get any sleep and I was on the road very early this morning as well. So Chris Idell here, amazing stuff. Don't forget, of course, this time of year, moisturising skin, save you looking like me in 25 years' time. And make sure, of course, guys, that you use those codes. If you remember the DCG gang, of course, 20% off Velo skin all the way through. So get those codes used. Seen quite a few of our guys in here as well. Just going to take a little bit of a run up the road to see how they're doing. So Josh Mayland in the gang as well. Just Josh easing off. And Josh, another of our great sponsors. Of course, it is Halloween month. It is the run into October. And Josh, of course, the main man at Halo, just weaving his way in and around. I'm going to try and get some kind of view of Josh as he makes his way in and through. Not always easy on the way through as he goes in with the pack around him. But Josh Mayland, absolutely key man. Of course, was rolling on the wheels and a Halo ambassador. I've got to say, I've got a pair of the Halo Vortex wheels on my mountain bike. They are basically, so far, unbreakable. I've worn the bearings out, putting so much hammer through them, but a set of Enduro bearings actually haven't lasted as long as the wheels will, and that takes some doing. Normally, I manage to break the wheels before the bearings get even close to wearing out, but actually managed to wear those out completely. So here we go, Josh in here, and amazing sets of wheels. I've got a great giveaway coming up at the end of the month to celebrate Halloween. And remember, Halloween, of course, the key time for Halo wheels. It's the cheesiest, best pun I think I've put out on the Chaingang for a long time. So here we go, John Crystal just to get him back into the gang, not sitting too easy. He doesn't want to get dropped back off the back again. That was a heck of a chase. So now just going to take a little bit of a run through. We've got Jamie Brown in here. Looks like Ruben McClarty. Good to see you with us, Ruben. Once again, Amanda out at running yesterday. Got Mr. Backhouse in here as well, and just taking a bit of a look. Looks like Wharfdale Phil in here. Looks like Clark in. So nice and easy to go over the top, guys, when you get to the summit. This is the summit finish. If you haven't watched this finish on the WoW DCG from last night, don't forget you can pick that up. You can pick that up on the Downing Cycling YouTube channel, on the Full Speed Events YouTube channel, and of course you can catch it on the Facebook page as well. Please, guys, do make sure that you jump on to the pages. Make sure you subscribe when you're on there. It's really important for us. The more you subscribe, the more that we can look after the riders. So please, guys, make sure that you do it. on the way through. Really important. So guys, please make sure if you are on the gang that you join in, and of course that you subscribe, jump on that Facebook page. It's always entertaining, it's always great fun. So please guys, make sure you do that on the way through. So our riders on the climb at the moment, and just coming up the back of the gang, needing to squeeze in the front. Guys, please remember, ease off as you go up over the top. So really key to get this group together as you come up and through. At the moment, it looks to me like the riders coming in. Now, let's see who's going to get what power up here. Remember, we have changed those power-ups as we come up into towards the summit, because remember, it is all about getting that in. So, Chris saying thanks for the last-minute link. No problems, buddy. Thank you very much for joining the DCG gang, the Donny Chaingang Supporters Club, once again. People still joining into that October period. Remember, of course, it gets you into the draw for the goodies in the Halloween giveaway as well. So, no problems at all. Great to have you back in here again. So over the top we go. Now I'm going to just try and stitch the gang back together. Remember, and then a quick reminder of that bit of the route. The section goes up. We've come up over the top of the Titan's Grove. We're going to drop out of Titan's Grove, but as we come down, we're going to take the right-hand turn that drops us down into towards the section that takes you back into the tunnels. Once again, we're going to head back towards downtown. We're then going to take a left-hand turn up over the mini KOM, over the top of that. Then we're going to drop back down off there as we come in and through. Now, interesting to see Joe Munden on the gang as well, so in here. So it looks like the mist over the top of the sequoias in the Jurassic section of town in here. So here come the riders on their way through. So some amazing scenery, and our riders absolutely flying on this descent. This is where it's really difficult. If you're one of our lighter riders, one of our youngsters, it's so easy to get distanced here. So down in and past the dinosaurs into that Jurassic part of the world here on the Titans on that descent down. So here at Halloween, our dinosaurs in the background as our riders descend down. Great moves by AD, just bringing the group back in again. If we take our way up into a helicopter shot, we can't quite show you how close the gang is all together. Now we can. So you can just see that group literally spread out. You have to zoom in just to encompass the gang. Don't need to zoom right the way out to do that. And some great riding here once again by the gang, looking after each other. And that's the whole point of the gang. really busy down inside the gang in the peloton. You can just see our camera down on the bike. Cameras now being used on bikes across a lot of events. Some great footage from Sam House from the first round of the National Trophy. As it's raining thumbs for us, putting thumbs up on the ride-ons going out on the Donny Chaingang on the DCG. Oddly enough, that missed at the side of the screen. I think it's going to be a bit like that when I go out with India Trail Dog a little bit later on. You see in the background, it's going to be a bit like that going down across Golf Course over the Rother and out into our local woods. So at the moment our message board on the screens that turn off. Basically it's the old people reminiscing about John Noakes, Fred Dibner and co. Met both of them in fact. Met John Noakes at the Harewood Hill Climb when he was filming there. Went there for the day with my dad and my brother. And met Dibner as well out in Lancashire, basically out on the side of the road. Very entertaining it was as well. Absolute legends, the pair of them. But basically at the moment the message board resembling an E. When I was a lad we had proper telly and everything. Well, the gang looking good at the moment. Coming up to our T-junction, we're going to be taking a right-hand turn. Looking very smooth at the moment. Everybody under control, everybody holding together. The pack working well. No stragglers off the back that we can detect. So just going to take a little bit of a check to the back of the group. Just jumping in with Mark. Now we can get a proper view. Here we go. So let's drop in some stats here. Looks like Mark, Tim Leary and Rich Dobson dropped on that section over the top of the hill. Not showing on the screens, now showing back on our screens. So we got Mark Graham, we got Tim Leary just distanced off that group. And I think that is purely because of the pace going up and then over the other side of the hill at the moment. Remember guys, if you want assistant shout, give Eddie a shout. So Tim Leary and Mark Grant separated by about 5 seconds at the moment. So it's all about having that focus. Russ sat in the back of the gang. We've got 2 riders distanced at the moment. Now the question is, do they need assistance? I'm not sure. It's the roller coaster section up over the top, and it looks like Mark Grant and Tim Leary just distanced off the back of the gang. Russ currently sitting around the back of the group with AD Dench. Question is Tim Leary's not all that far off his bounce. Let the timings probably stabilise themselves. Take him around the corner, so we'll stay in with Mark as he descends down here into the right-hand turn at the moment. What we don't want to do is jump from riders as we go over a fold in the page. It's really, really dangerous when we do that on Swift when we're trying to watch and check out the riders. So we may well have a certain Dixon. I'm not sure it's Dixon or Doc Green, but Dixon's still in the group. If that's the case, buddy, if I were you, I would make sure you get that late join sorted. It's not going anywhere. It could well be a glitch in the system. So here we go. Mark Grant about to hit the descent down into the tunnels. Tim Leary just hitting the base of the tunnels. And then he's got just off the back of that pack. AD, I think, just making a call on dropping back. Mr. Leary, Tim, Mark, if you need assistance, guys, please, guys, give a shout out to the red. At the moment, the red is currently shepherding the yellow. It's not something you hear every day of the week, and yellow just trying to get back in. You can't see where Russ is. You're not doing a very good job, because the only people you can always see if you're still in the game are yellow and red. So you can see our runners are just in those tunnels at the moment, coming back out from the island. AD just having a little bit of a roll back at the moment. AD, of course, our red beacon, one of our fantastic red beacons. If you fancy having a go, it's the toughest workout you're ever going to get on zwiftever.com. And that is because being our red beacon takes some serious doing. Yeah, so Tim Leary's after a little bit of assistance. I can't do it alone. So Tim definitely in need of assistance, and I'm not sure whether that's the system just causing issues. So Tim just putting out a shout. So Tim, I think, is going to get joined by AD Dench. Mark is quite quiet at the moment, so not like Mark. Here we go. Who else is going to go back to give AD Dench a hand? Who we're going to see at this stage taking a little bit of a roll back. I think we're going to see Mr. Mason doing a drop back to go help AD. Let's see. I think you're going to find, Tim, that if you get this right, you're going to go piling on him. It's like stepping on his way. Mark Grant going to say he's miles behind is okay. So Dench on his way back. See how fast Tim Leary comes up at him. So look at the difference here. You've got Dench here just nicely kicking along, sub 2 watts per kilo. Tim Leary currently rocket fueled at 3.5 watts per kilo, closing in on AD. Then in front it's going to be Mason. Mason's just getting ready to do a tow back on. Have we got anybody else going to come and give a hand at the back? Mr. Runner, you're looking very strong today, or maybe he's just feeling like he doesn't want to be chasing right up. So what we need is a few breadcrumbs back from the group. We've got Mr. Mason already starting to drop back. He's too scared to do it at the moment, my goodness. So Eddie just over the top. He's waiting for Tim Leary. Mark Grant saying, right on, Mark, we will be focusing on you all the way in to the finish, buddy, at some point. So if we don't catch you too soon. Right. Have we got anybody who's not scared? I tell you what, this really is going to be scary stuff. So here we go, Leary about to make the catch here on to the wheels here of AD Dench. Dench, the beacons right in front. Here they come. On their way, and I think Mason and Juice just going to go back and go give them a hand as they go up on to the climb. It's going to be really interesting because if they keep on pushing, they're going to get that distance right down. They should be able to close on as they come up on to that climb. So Leary and Dench, the pursuers at the moment. The yellow beacon is way up, and there is a massive group of people. There's a real run of riders as bread comes on the way back. So looks like Juiced on his way. Great riding then. Thank you very much, buddy, for taking the drop back. That's Gareth Juiced. So Gareth just coming back to give a hand. Ryan Williams doing the same here. And this is all about that little bit of a push now to get this group together. So give it a kick. Gareth currently sat at the back of this back. You can just see lots of riders just giving a little bit of a hand here up in front. So here we go. I think that's going to be Neil from the crosscast just out the back at the moment. Neil, come on, mate, get a move on, bud. He's got to do a little bit of a kick. He's behind Just, so Just is trying to kick his way back in. Neil at the back is going to be our last rider on the road, other than Mark, who said right on. So let's see how they go on as they come up on to this section. So Neil from Gritty off the back of the group. Neil, have you been doing some serious training sessions in between or something? Yeah, Neil, you could do with the partner. You're not wrong. Here we go. He's on his way up here. He's on to this climb. I think 80 days. She's dropping back again for him. Here we go. Now they've got to get themselves back on. That's what we always mean about going back and working hard. It is really, really key to look after our roads. We can't use our helicopter at the moment. It's not being very cooperative, let's say. That's going to be my polite version. Basically, it's a complete pile of Stevie something or other. All right, here we go. Neil's been doing an interval thing. Yeah, he will be on the back. So will Eddie. So Mark pushing on behind Eddie, and Neil just making contact with the group that's coming to this left-hand turn. Remember, this is the Swift KOM. It's the standard KOM, not the Epic. It was the second of the KOMs in here. So Tim Leary being brought back in. Big thanks from Tim there. Remember, guys, you need to be keeping an eye what's on front and back of the group. Big thanks coming from Neil from the crosscast as well. So that group at the back coming back in together, nicely done by the gang. And AD Dench doing an amazing job as our beacon at the moment. So let's go drop a ride on with AD there, doing an amazing job. Now Rich Shade just at the back here. Rich, remember, if you're starting to get distant, shout, bit like you would do on the road. If you're going out riding and training and you get dropped and you shout 10 minutes later really hard to get somebody back to give you a hand, and the group has to wait a long time. If you shout the moment you start to lose the wheel, or squeeze the moment you start to lose the wheel, it makes life much easier for everybody, and then they can get in. This climb on its way up. It is, of course, 200 meters to go sign as we go through. Just in with Sharp making his way up in to the top of that climb. So it levels out a little dip and then a little bit of a rise and a kicker in. And this is where our riders will be making their way in. So all 304s there, the riders who come from the back to the front on the climb. So you can see the riders who went back and helped out here. So Ryan Williams went back to help, so did Mason, so did Callum, Nunn, Stevens. Basically anybody sub 3 minutes have gone back to help everybody on there. It's not being an idiot, it's called going back, mate. You know that. Ryan Williams went back to help. That's how it works. It's the split time. It's not a board of shame. That is a board of fame today. Not going to say that very often. Today's board of fame. Williams, who went back to help at the back, along with Neil from the crosscast, Mr. Mason, the fast cyclist, Chris Cannon, Matt Nern, Jason Stevens, Lord Greg Pillsworth, Gareth Juice, along with Noel Westbrook and Tim Leary, the man who went back for Craig Harrison as well. Basically, it is a board of fame, not shame, for a change. Nice to be that way around. Well, still the mist is up there. Let's see if our helicopters can get underneath it. So Gareth Hughes trying to help out. Richie jump on. Excellent. That's what we like to see. Remember, the message board is on a bit of time lag today. I'll be honest. Some of the messages that are coming on here, really interesting. really, really interesting because they have got serious time lag. So, guys, please remember, message board has got a delay. Dale Williams has got an anvil. Dale, mate, you don't need any power. Maybe we should just eliminate power-ups from certain people. Yeah, save it. Save the anvil. Save the anvil. I save the whales, but they'll be less environmentally friendly. Right. Group on its way down into the descent. The speed's going to really pick up now. Let's take a little bit of a roll. Let's go see where Russ is. He's in here. 89 beats per minute. Let's give Russ a follow for a moment. So Dale Williams just put the anvil in. Boom! And he just rolled off the front. My goodness me. I'm not. It shows you how effective it is. That is nothing to do with putting any power in. Dale was freewheeling when he hit that, which is watching on one of our other screens there. Straight down he went. So Dale Williams basically got silly speed because he's not doing anything, and he's all about having an anvil. Very dangerous. So just in with Dale, a super sprinter, super strong rider, capable of breakaway attacks as well. So we're running around in towards the Italian villas at the moment. The group pretty much together. Looks like that red beacon just dropping back to go give a little bit of a hand behind. Got just dropping back. And just let the gang roll the way in and through. We just got to get over this little fold. There's a fold in the map basically here. We just come round into this junction at the top. And you can just see it all sort of come back together again, once again. So license on the back of the pack was used and burn in there. 80 dents just off the back of the pack. I think he's going to have to put a little bit of a dig in here to get back on again. And Mark Grant doing a great job here solo, and looks like he's going to have that descent to come very shortly. It's a very enjoyable descent. So here we go, our riders on the way down. Some great scenery coming up in here. So you can see Eddie chasing in towards the back of the pack, towards the villas we go. Going to be taking that right-hand sweeping turn underneath our camera, heading in. And this is heading towards that slightly longer 350 metre sprint, but at the moment looking good as he comes in and through. So Eddie back onto the back of the group, and looks like pretty much everybody back together once again. So some great shots here as the riders roll away, and I notice a number of the quick riders going off the back of the group there so that they could squeeze on going through that section. So we'll bring them around in towards the bridge underneath that sprint line. Snowing confetti again, no surprises there as we get the fastest times. Donny Chaingang doing its stuff once again. Just focusing on the top of 80 density. That Bison Beers jersey, absolutely spot on for red beacon duties. Don't forget, make sure you go on to the Facebook page on there. comment from Mr. Mason. Can't wait, this finish is going to be savage, isn't it? Yep, it's going to be absolutely killer. This is a rehearsal for the run into the finish. Really key to see how these riders play this as they go up over the top. In a moment, our riders just heading up. They have one lap to go when they hit the line this time. So the riders continue to push. Definitely breakaway taxis coming up. We'll see how they get on as they come around. I think this is going to be a really interesting ride as they come through. So just riding in with AD at the back of that group. Russ controlling the pack in the middle. The message is coming thick and fast. So Josh Mayland already saying he's blowing up already. Yeah, it's going to just keep on happening. And these roller coasters here were my favourite parts of the course. It's all about having that pedal cadence of modulation, being able to rev up as you go down and then squeeze over the top of the hill. Having that flexibility in your pedaling style really key here as you come through, and you can just see the gang on the way in and round here on the Donny Chaingang on Halloween. Halo are featured supporter this month. Started off with OTE last month, but of course members of the DCG gang still getting a 20% discount on OTE as well as on Halo, on Gritty, on Velo Skin. All of our supporters looking after the members of the DCG gang. That is how we keep the show on the road. So by donating either for the month or to the end of the season, that will give you the advantage of being able to take hold of those discounts. It also means you get the links direct to your inbox, and that is basically whether you are going to be getting on the WoW DCG or on the DCG. So Donny Chaingang Tuesday and Thursday, WoW DCG on Wednesday. Almost all of them are going to be broadcast. We have got some dates where that's not going to happen, and that is just dependent on what else is out there. So here we go, down into the run round here. This is going to be the section that takes us through. Yeah, 0% for life on turbo training difficulty. You've got to use your gears to get the power out. You've got to have a good enough turbo with enough inherent strength to play the rolls, says Haley. Not wrong. Here we go. Rolling in and through. Our riders on the way down to a waterline. It's going to be one lap done. That's Mr. Nunn, where are you? We need you. Lap counter. Where are you? One lap to go. It's one more lap to go. Can't do it in my strongest voice, just but it's not. Anybody dropped? Yeah. That's your job. Let's have a little look. Ben Cokin for some reason. Ben, what's going on? Not like you. Wharfdale Phil has just disappeared. AD can't see anybody. I know it's very, very interesting. We're getting people jumping backwards and forwards. 2 minutes ago, we didn't have Mr. Cokin back there. So it looks like Mark out on the course. Then Ben Cokin just coming through. Ben's at 54 seconds though at the moment. According to that, he's absolutely pushing at some serious pace. That's at 3.6. Carl Johnson's going to be heading off. Carl, no worries, buddy. Stay safe out there. We'll catch you soon. So just under the hour on Tuesdays. Tuesday's turning into the fast day. Thursday's the hilly day on the gang. That's reflected in the numbers actually on the way through on the splits. So Tuesdays have turned into the bigger numbers, Thursdays the lesser numbers. It was always the other way round when we had the hills on the Tuesday. Ross wants to change them over, so he's in charge of routes, he's in charge of where we go, he's in charge of looking after the gang out on the road. So Ben up there looks like AD just looking at this do it settling down thing as we go in and through. So Eddie dropping back for Ben Kokin. Maybe we'll need a little bit of assistance on the way through. We're at 43 minutes. It's going to be good. So this is ticking along. We've done 40 minutes, so it's going to be an hour and 20 minutes, I reckon, for the fastest. Calling the bus, struck back for Ben. Bing, bing. Mr. Dunn watching the track. I know, no spoilers, mate. I've got to watch it yet. I've got to do a lot of watching actually for that track coming up potentially. So yeah, definitely going to need to be engaged in for that one. Excellent. Fat cyclist, any fatties with me at the top of the Titans, get ready to draft. There's 150 kilos on the move. That means he's got himself an anvil. That is going to be really fun. Now, Ben Kokin still pushing at 3.8 watts per kilo. He's got some serious work to do to catch up with 80. 80's just rolling in. There is quite a few people with anvils holding them for that descent. Chris Cannon, 300, if I made you up there. That is going to be scary, scary stuff. Looks like really interesting. What is the collective name for a group of downhill fatties? Fat gang. I think you'd probably find it's a Led Zeppelin. Gee, should be banned from Amazon. Yeah, I quite agree. So it's got an inherent advantage downhill, even on me. Tube of Rolos, a Led Zeppelin of anvil-equipped descenders. Right, here we go. So Billy No Mates dropped back for Ben Kokin. We've got 80 dents just up the road. This is going to be a real good chance. So it gives us a chance to put the sprinters. Yeah, indeed. It also means it gives a good chance to drop the sprinters on the climbs when you get a feather and you're a lightweight climber. That's kind of how it works. That's why we've introduced them, to really mix it up, the wide berth of anvil descenders. Let's see. So here we go. 80 rolling back. The team here. This is going to be Billy No Mates. Absolute sterling stuff. Thanks, buddy. He's gone back to pick up Ben Kokin here. Two of our real regular riders. Ben with the grey jersey, the grey helmet. To see Billy here, and that's just in the background actually great shot coming in and through of the red and yellow beacons. You're going to see them just moving their way in and around, and at the moment this is going to become team of three. The bus very, very fast tonight. It's kind of like one of those really quick buses where it takes people back in and then it drops back, like the ultimate sprinter on its way through. So here we go, Eddie just coming to jump in, putting in a few watts, seeing those level 50 socks burning it up. So here they go. So Mark rolling along and they're back doing a good job, just heading out onto this lap. Billy No Mates, 80 Dedge and Co are on the way through. Yeah, come on Craig, TV attack maybe. Right, so our bus is forming, three riders together. The guys who need to work together or you're going to be in trouble. Let's take a little bit of a run to the back of the gang. It's a familiar figure of certain Russ Downing in that Downing cycling coach jersey there. He's makes his way through. Yeah, Ryan Williams was helping Eddie. No, having a go at people who went back and then got the KOM because they basically went from the very back, helping somebody off the back of the group. No matter how much Mickey taking we do, good deeds should not be punished. Okay, here we go. So, Kaleo just at the, yeah, it is, sorry, Spesso on the way through. Making his way down along this. Craig Herring over a TV attack for the sponsors, his mum and his dad. Let's have a little look. Gang together, pretty much. Other than Boss and Mark, who have been distanced, vast majority of riders. That basically means 78 riders round and about near where our beacon is now. Chris Cannon currently just at the back of the group here. Come on, Chris, squeeze your way on here. Remember, it's going to be really key to stay in. You don't want to let that gap go. The bus at the back is moving. Come on, Chris, keep pushing now, and you will get yourself in before that descent is absolutely key here. Nice riding, Chris. Well done, buddy. That was a good recovery there. Let's take a little bit of a run towards the back of the bunch again. Ryan Williams just sitting on the back. So how's our chasing pack doing? About 35 seconds. Billy No mates on the way through. Just up in front is one of our Welsh riders. Just rolling at the back of the pack here. Still continue to push. So where do we want it? About 20k ago, mate. Easily. Oh, I'm loving it. Where do we want the 3Gs? No, sometimes I wonder where it was. After KOM, yeah, definitely. 2k out from Greg, definitely. Downtown, says Cannon. Love it, absolutely. 100%. Anywhere, says Dale. Yeah, basically somewhere. Nobody poked the bear, you'll definitely get it. If you poke the bear, guys, you won't find it yourself. Getting that. Making the most of the coffee on the way through. Let's see our runners working very quick at the moment, but that gang pretty much nailed together. Take the drone out. Who's on the back? Miss Sadler, squeeze in, that's it. Keep squeezing, keep squeezing, keep squeezing. Keep pushing in, don't let the gap go. Stay on target. Stay on target. So interesting to see. I think that's Gibbo just on the back there, if I'm correct, on the back of the main group. It is Gibbo just tucked on there. We've got our three Musketeers chasing behind. That's Billy No, Mason Dench and Ben Cokin. Putting time into the group and yo-yoing back off. So let's see who has got the power today. Camera of shame. It's out again. This time getting open in the roof together. Stay with yellow. Pushing over the top. Rips the roof apart. Pushing right over the top. Really rips the roof apart. As you can see, we have a few people on the back fighting to stay with the pack because it pushed over the top. Come on, Mr. Woodbridge. Time to squeeze in. So squeezing on the front results in riders being distanced. Now have to work like absolute losers to stay with the bunch on the downhill. Two riders who we know are more than capable of staying in with the group here. And that's all about the pace as you go over. It puts splits into the group. Map now, you can see those gaps where it were short and small as the push went over the top and people chased the carrot up front like an untense football, as Russ would say. To use a Russism, then yeah, it causes gaps. So the gaps have opened. Question is, are we going to see Woodbridge and Backhouse get back onto this group, guys? It is about 11-12 seconds. Don't believe necessarily the numbers that are on there. So that gap now going to 14 seconds to the yellow beacon group from this duo who are really having to push here. To squeeze back in. Backhouse doing a turn on the front now. So they are rocketing in along. They need to find some company there to get themselves back into the pack. The time is running out on them at the moment. Still lots of this course left. We're at 33k. We are at 56 minutes. So time for this group to really work now. They've got to really put the power down and get themselves up to the leading group. Jump in and get the pace going. Backhouse doing a great job at the moment, really winding it up here to try and get back into the group. You can see we're now having to zoom the map out to be able to get there. 23 seconds, and that is the power of the pack versus a few riders on the way down. Really, really telling that if you're not on the group, you are going to get in trouble really, really quickly. So here we go. Dale's surprised it hasn't gone yet. Well, I'm not really, because we've got riders off the back drop because people were squeezing on the front. Russ generally doesn't pull in the pin when that's happened. So two riders putting the pressure on. I'm not sure they're going to be able to get back into this group. This is the back of the pack. Looks like Bramham Williams at the back here. Gibbo holding on to the back of that group. So Tim Burns saying, in fact, that time feels like the trigger had been pulled. Oh no, it's going to get a lot harder yet. That's for sure. So on the way down, 35 seconds now to that duo behind. So here we are in with our Rebby, Billy No Mates, Eddie Dench, Ben Koken, all working nicely together, guys, and looking good. A fairly fast and moving pack on its way. So our riders are working well on the gang here. Ben Koken in with the group. Ruben McLardy just tucked in to the back. Come on, Ruben. You need to get in there, sunshine. Really need to push now. The youngster, the lightweight, the little one, having to work really hard. He's having to use everything in his arsenal to try and get on the back of the pack here. Just riding in with Ruben. And this is where that downhill doesn't help. And of course, one rider, he's putting out nearly 6 watts per kilo. The gap is at a second. He can't get it back at 7 watts per kilo. And that is about the draft, and it's about your body mass at the moment. He's having a tough time. He's now gone to 2 seconds at the moment. And Ruben really having to work here. It's not in his favour because he's on that descent. So Ruben really having to push. He's trying to get back in. It's now 4 seconds on the go has gone now. Ruben is going to find bodies coming back towards him at a pace. We're in with Russ here at the front. It's gone on a downhill section. That means it's going to explode. We are going to see this strung right out. So here we go. Look at the back of this pack. Let's get that drone up in the air. We're in with Russ. But you can see now bodies starting to be distanced off the back of the group. They're starting to feel the pace. The pressure is on. This is all about going, and it looks to me like that Just has gone hard here on the front. This is all about getting ready to use the power-ups to your advantage. On the way through, the question is who's going to be the first to throw that anchor down. At the moment, we see some draft coming in. There's some utterly useless stuff in there. Here we go. Look at this. And you've seen the anchors go down. Here it looks like Gibbo's got one. He's definitely on with one. And I think Williams has got one as well. I'm going to try and get up to the front as fast as we can. So look at this. Dale Williams definitely having one on the front of the group. Diving down on the way through here. So it is Dale going down. Then it's Gibbo. Then it's going to be Mason. Then it's Herring. And this has put the cat amongst the pigeons behind. So the pressure really going on, and you can see we are shedding bodies at the back of this group now. So let's take a little bit of a look. Looks like Brooksy in here. This is Karen Brooks just tucked in to the group at the moment. So Karen working to stay with this group, able to stay with them on that descent, doing a great job at the moment. Going to take this right-hand turn. Hager now in trouble here. Distance going to be time to find a group. He's got Garfoot for company. He's got Malin for company and Pattison for company. Great for riders here. They come around that just around that right-hand turn. So through they go. 4 riders together. Looks like Johnson has got company in the ship with Chris Ball. Chris, don't do too much too soon. You'll be in trouble, sir. You know that. So Chris on his way through. Great to see Chris back on the gang once again. A bit further back you can see that we have Woodbridge working hard. Backhouse has actually distanced him on that descent, trying to get across towards Ball and Johnson. He's got a lot of stepping stones actually on his way up if he's going to try and motor his way through. Our Beacon group on 28 seconds behind. They've got Woodbridge to pick up. They've got Kai Hurst to pick up. They've got Backhouse to pick up. They're moving pretty quickly. If they can pick up Ruben, he's really strong, really fast. Got into that go point, but on that downhill just deposited off the group. Then we've got these 4 riders. Then we're up at the back now. This next 4 being detached. This is going to be Steve Hilbert. It's going to be Owen Davis. It's going to be Karen Brooks in here, and I think that is going to be in as well. Then this is the back of the current pack. This is currently our leading group of riders. They are spread across the road here. Little bit of a gap forming in front, and that is really just about where the people are picking up the pace to close those gaps down. Expect to see some more action as we go up on here. One person who's been very quiet so far is a certain Mr. Lindley. So Russ squeezing his way up on to this climb. You've seen one or two people throwing in some aero power-ups here. Not always the best one to use here. The pace at 50k now from Russ as he goes steaming through. He's used basically the slingshot of going through that group to accelerate off the front here. Are we going to see any kind of reaction? We're not. They're letting Russ drift at the moment. And using the packs coming back, we're just going to take a little bit of a run to the back of the group as we went over that section of climb. I think a few more bodies in trouble. We're going to just try and drop to the back of the group. So this was the group that had been detached prior to the climb. Looks like Bramham has now gone. So currently George Bramham in trouble. I think Ambler in trouble. I think Chris Idell in trouble here. Then it's going to be Dan Ambler and Richard Langmead at the moment, who could find themselves in trouble. This group is fracturing now as we make our way on to the big climb here. This is on to the KOM. Good. So we've got Joe Mundy still in this group, Sadler still in here. It's like Herring is still in this back. Mason at the moment leading them up a section of climb here. Not for long. Here we go. It looks like Herring are coming through. Hudson on a good ride. Crossland once again, but it's Sadler who's got the revs down 100 revs per minute at the moment, putting out 400 plus watts, really spinning to get that power up. Being chased here by Craig Herring immediately behind him. And then it's going to be Josh Malin, then Russ Downing. So Josh puts in another big dig here just to get onto the wheels. Craig Herring puts another push over the top. Malin at the moment doing an amazing job here. He's leading out the DCG post. Go, go, go. And you can see just how steep this is. So here we go. Going to be coming in, going to go around that left-hand turn, around that hairpin behind. The damage is being done. The group is fracturing. But remember, we've got this big downhill on the other side. And when you go into that big downhill, you've got a long run down into towards essentially the Italian villas once again. And that means that it is very tricky for a solo rider to stay away. But I think Josh has broken that group enough to cause damage. Now, looks like Lindley sitting in this group, biding his time here. Murphy's doing the same. Simonite is in here as well. Hutchin here. Ryan Williams, Dale Williams in here. Just getting a little bit of a squeeze on as they come up to the summit. They don't want to let this gap open up, but look at this. You've got Booker, you've got Just, you've got Malin, you've got Williams and Williams. And then it's going to be Russ behind. This is some going here. So let's just dive in with Greg. Now, Greg, of course, having slightly posher bite at the moment than he rode on the hill climb. I was hearing the story today about that hill climb frame, actually, of his dad's that he borrowed, and the wheels as well. But great to see that Greg on some storming form now. Just goes over the top with a slight gap. But what is happening behind these riders? This is a strong group. Ryan Williams, we've got Greg Booker, we've got Josh Mayland. They've got a gap, and now the gang has got to go for it. So Dale Williams asking for the gang to blob up here. That is a big ass. So here we go. We're into the descent. This is the chasing group. I'm going to try and dive in with something that gives us a decent look at this group and see what they've got. Well, Mason's got an anvil here. When's he going to use it? There's not actually that many options now for it to be useful, but you could use it in that final run down in towards the line. Yeah, Russ saying that ain't coming back. Well, I've got to agree with you. You've got Juiced up here. You've got Ryan Williams. You've got Greg Booker. You've got Josh Mayland up the road. That is one scary group, but it's only 17 seconds. Now, normally we'd say 17 seconds, it's game over. I'm not sure I agree with Russ here, because these four, they're very strong. But look who's behind. You've got Mason, you've got Downing, you've got Herring, you've got Emsley, you've got Dale Williams, you've got Tom Lindley, you've got Hutch in here, Simonite in this group, Byrne in here. It is a decent-sized pack. If this group can get together as one, and they are going to need absolutely everybody together, if these two groups come together, that would mean that we are going to have 10 riders, if not 11 riders. Yep, 11 riders, in fact, against 4. That is a tantalising prospect here, but you've got to get it together, guys. You can't afford to try and do this solo, because if you do, you are not going to pull back those leaders who are currently 21 seconds down the road. So the pursuit is on. We're going to run down towards the Italian villas. We're then going to run in through the S's. So Italian villas, then sprint line, then it's going to be the S's, then that run down to the line here. Interesting tactics being played here. Somebody has just, oddly enough, reappeared a little bit further down there. So here we go. We've got to get down here. At the moment, Mason using that descent on his way through. So the 4 leaders with 22 seconds. 22 seconds on this descent. Mason using the anvil. So is Simonite at the moment. And this is where it's difficult for everybody else to get onto the wheels. They've got to come down here. You've got to push, guys. If you're going to get in, our riders are blown apart all over the descent, all over the climb. I'm not going to try and work back into which group is which just yet. Quite simply because it's just like dot to dot. We've got 2s, 3s and 4s. However, this is the interesting gap. 13 seconds between our leaders and the chasing group behind, which has split. And that is because you've got Mason, Herring, along with Simonite, Williams, who've come down on that power-up using the draft from the riders who had the anvil. Then it's a gap of 7 seconds back to Murphy, Downing, Byrne, Lindley. Going to be Hutch, another 9 seconds back. So this is Group 3. So Group 1 is our leaders at the moment. So it's Juice, Williams, Mayland. It's going to be Booker. They are our leading 4 riders, just making their way down. Let's get the drone cam up here and let's see if we can get this in. So this is your leading group of riders. 4 riders. They have 10 seconds to this group on the road. This is group number 2. Group 2 is Downing, Simonite. It's going to be, sorry, it's not, it's going to be Craig Herring, sorry, my apologies, Craig. Yeah, I got mixed up for greatness. Craig Herring on the front, then Dale Williams in the on the pink Tron bike, then Simonite in the black behind him. That is going to be Mason. That's Group 2. Group 3 is this group here. It loosely termed a group. We have 3 riders. That is going to be Byrne, who at the moment I think his legs probably are doing that. Tim Byrne. It's going to be Tom Lindley, Russ Downing, Sam Emsley, just having to squeeze. Come on, Sam. Then it's going to be Murphy behind. Come on, Patrick. Time to squeeze in this group of 5. They have 14 seconds to make onto what's left of this group. They currently have Herring just pushing on 3 seconds ahead. Mayland and Co are in here. Now, these 4 need to work together. We're seeing the odd rider pinging away off the front. That is a very, very dangerous thing to do. You need to work together, guys, or you're going to get caught back. You've got Herring at 11 seconds. You've got the group with Mason, Williams, and Simonite at 16, 17 seconds down. You've got Murphy and Emsley, Downing, Lindley, and Byrne. They're at 32, 33 seconds. So here we go. The current fastest time through the sprint was 28 seconds. These guys come through in 27. So Dench, who is working to chase back on last time through that sprint, getting a very fast time. But look at the fastest time. It's come from Craig Herring. Where's Craig on the road? Well, that's really easy. Craig Herring is the rider who's trying to chase back across. He's got the gap down to 9 seconds. He's in 5th position at the moment. He's got Simonite, Williams, and Mason. Mason claiming his legs are dead, but look at Craig. He's just putting another dig here. He's up at 9 watts per kilo. The chaser out of the saddle here, are really hammering those pedals, looking to come back to Juice, to Mayland, to Booker and to Williams. And I think this group are in danger of seeing Herring onto the wheel. They're going to go over the top and wind up. That gap could open up. Herring not making the catch on that ascent. So here we go. The 4 riders are looking like they're going to become 5. We're just in with Josh Mayland at the back of that group, and the solo rider in that Donny cycling coach kit, that is Craig Herring. Herring is on an absolute flyer tonight. Now we'll be watching out if he has not burnt his matches. And that was a fantastic bridge across there by Craig Herring. That is some ride he's got in here. The rider to watch out for me is Gareth Juiced. Juiced at the moment looking very strong, answering all of the attacks. Is he going to run out of steam? Little kick by Craig as he goes over the top of the roller. Smart little move, just opening up the little bit of a gap there, using the momentum over the top. Kicks out of this climb, and at the moment they're all having to get back on, but he's not got enough of a gap to drop them at the moment, but he has opened it up. So at the moment, Group 1, it is Craig Herring, it's Gareth Juiced, it is Greg Bucket, it's Josh Maylands and Ryan Williams behind them. 30 seconds back now. It is Simonite, Williams, Downing. They are the riders who are there. It looks like Emsley now at 39 seconds. The groups have fractured and are broken all over the road. And you can see at the moment Simonite and Dale Williams are pushing. Our leaders, though, have come over the top now. This is going to be really, really interesting, this run to the finish. Has Greg Booker got enough of a sprint left in him here? The Monsall Hill Climb winner is tucked in. We know Herring can sprint. We know Ryan Williams can sprint. We've got Josh Mayland and Josh from Halo Wheels. Remember, it's Halo October. Is it going to be a Halo win here tonight? That is going to take some doing because he's up against some really quick legs here. Time is running out for the riders. Remember, we finish at the sprint line, at the lap line of the orange banner. That is the key point now. First dig has come from Ryan Williams. He's gone off the front here, and he has gone early. So Ryan Williams has gone early. It looks like Just is trying to use that power up. At the moment, you can just see Ryan Williams sprinting hard here. Just is coming hard on his heels. It's going to come down to the line. It's going to be ever so close here. Oh, and I think that was just Ryan Williams. That was all about the timing. That is going to bear a playback. What a ride here by Josh Mayland, by Greg Booker, by Craig Herring, by Gareth Juice and Ryan Williams. That was some finish. Now, here we go. It is going to be Russ, I think, who is chasing hard here. He's against the Dale Williams. Williams has gone hard. He went early. Williams is going to get 6th place here today. 7th is going to go to Simonite. 8th to Downing. It's going to be a 10th place to Lindley. 12th for Bernard, a 13th, I think, for Emsley. Mason on his run in now. That was some finish. Ryan, you are going to have to tell us whether you got that. That was some ride by Craig to get back on there, and I agree with that. Gareth License coming through. Hudson West, Hutch, Bale. Neil from the Crosscast having come in through the line. Runnett and Clark on the way in here. So Clark in. It's going to be Sadler on next finisher. That was some going there. Absolutely mental finish here on the Donny Chaingang. A tough day at the office. 1 hour at 17 on the clock at the moment. Well, Russ saying that course, ouch. You chose it, buddy. So here we go. Sharp on his way into the line. He's got 3 seconds on Crossland. So Crossland going to be on next rider in. John Crossland goes through, then it's going to be Bannister, then it's going to be Pillsworth and Bannister. So Lawgrave, Pillsworth pushing to the line, then it's going to be Sharp. It's going to be a massive sprint in and through that line there. Not sure who took that. I'm going to let you guys work that out on the way through. So Douglas is going to come in just ahead of John Hind. Then it's going to be Raccoon, it's going to be Crease, it's going to be Dobson. Dobson putting in a big kick forwards using a ghost to hide out of the way, but I think it's going to be Crease followed by Dobson. Then it's going to be Speo coming in and through. Then it'll be Stevens Moore False in there. Looks like Rob Wimble from the Drogon team. Going to be coming in with Johnny Two Dogs there. Just behind him, it's then going to be Hudson, who has about 33 seconds to the group behind. So seriously, scary quick, of course, here today. Next up will be Hudson, who's going to be coming into the line. Behind is a cracking group. And that is going to be this group. That is going to be Chris Idale in here. So we're in with Ambler. Idale in that Wahoo LaColle kit. He's up against John Garford. Garford is in the group behind. So it's going to be Ambler. It's going to be Iredale, and it's going to be a Rich Langmead. Langmead in that lighter blue jersey, which means that it's going to be Garford in there. It's going to be Ambler in there in the dark blue. So Ambler in the dark blue. Chris Iredale in here. Guys, this is the finish line. Who's got the kick? It's going to be Ambler, who are waiting for that last roll there. That is some very tired legs. Next up is going to be John Garford. He gets more mentions because I thought he was in with that group, but I should have known that John hadn't changed it from his traditional light blue camo. So in through the line it goes Garford, then it's going to be Malin. Going to come in ahead of Haig, and then it's going to be Brooks. Great riding here today by Karen Brooks on that Fear race team. Making her way in and through the line. Great riding on that finish there. Then let's take a little bit of a look. It's going to be Steve Hilbert. So Hilbert's going to be our next rider in. Then it will be Owen Davis, who is in a little bit of a battle at the moment with Ian here. And then it's going to be Rob Varty behind. Then it's going to be George Brown. And then Ruben McLeod. He's got Bobby Mason. Bobby, a quick warning, Ruben's got a sprint on him. Get on his wheel, stay on his wheel, and use that slipstream as much as you can. So Davis on the run towards the line here. Goes over the top of Gary Patterson. It's going to be Davis who I think is going to take this out. It is. But look at this. Patterson's trying to respond. I think Davis is going to have it. It's going to be Owen Davis. Davis hits the line. Immediately behind is Gary Patterson. Then it's going to be in from Stellaton. He's got a very fast finishing Varty on his way, and it's going to come down to the line. Oh, that's going to bear another look back. Then it's going to be George Brown coming through. Good running, mate. Okay, now this could be interesting. Bobby Mason versus Ruben McLardy, the 11-year-old from Johnson Jets, against somebody who's just slightly older, just a little bit. Bobby Mason immediately behind. Has Bobby got anything left in those legs? Look at Ruben winding it up. He's going to try and stay on the front here. Bobby's going to come through, get a good time. Oh, Bobby's closing. He nearly gets him on the line there. So Ruben McLardy then. Bobby Mason going through behind. It's going to be Backhouse. Great recovery by Backhouse. It's been dropped on that climb. Adam Backhouse working hard here, doing a great job. Coming in to the finish. He's overtaken a number of riders on the way in to the line. He's going to come in 6th, 4th position here tonight. So under the gantry goes Backhouse. Behind him is going to be Chris Canham. Chris doing a good ride as well on the running on that Pinarello Dogma with the deep rims on there. So it's going to be Canham, and then it's going to be Kai Hurst rolling his way in to that line, pushing for watts per kilo. So Kai from East Devon CC going to be on his way. You can't afford to ease off the pedals when you're on camera, mate. That's not how it works, believe me. So Kai Hurst, the next of our riders on the way in to the finish. Got Ben Kokin behind him. Ben with a little bit of a gap to Eddie and Co. So well done to Chris Canham. Well done to Kai Hurst. Ben Kokin's to be our next rider through. Well done, Ben. Ben making his way into the line. He's about 4 seconds ahead of the Red Beacon group. Just continuing to push his way in through the line goes Ben Kokin. Behind it is going to be Billy Nomex, doing a great ride by Billy, doing an amazing job. Alongside him, Chris Ball. Chris, well done, mate. plenty of rest, get that lactic acid spun out, get it out of your system. And of course, our red beacon, it is the one and only Eddie Dench coming in and through. So Eddie doing an amazing job tonight. Fantastic stuff, Eddie. I think that group just dropping the rider on the way, and that's going to be John Woodbridge. So Woodbridge is going to be our next. James Woodbridge. James Woodbridge on his way in towards the line. Apologies, James. Only having a minor brain aberration. It happens every now and then. So James on his way in from the Velobans group on the DCG here. Good to see James out and running, and that means that Mark is going to be our next rider. He's on his way in. He's currently just come in over the top of the climb. So whilst he makes his way in and through, time for me to do some housekeeping. Don't we just love it? Okay guys, quick reminders. Stay around yellow. Don't push over the front on the hills. Causes problems at the back. Lessons learned today. Don't leave yellow till you get to the go, go, go. Don't push at the front as you go over the top. Guess what? It causes damage at the back. Just as importantly, make sure you join the DCG gang. Support the Donny Chaingang. Because, of course, without your support, we can't make it happen. Russ, myself, Matt Payne, can't stitch it all together. The WoW DCG is utterly dependent as well. Emma putting all that time in there. Believe me, neither Russ nor I or Emma or anybody on the Chain Gang is going to get rich doing this. It ain't going to happen. If we were actually employing people, we'd be getting prosecuted for being below minimum wage by some margin, like a lot. Like, basically, we'd have everybody up in arms. We do this because we love getting our riders on there. If you can help us, even better. And say thank you. Gotta say, these guys up here are absolutely critical. 1080, the best in the business. Oakley's have been a long time rider with Oakley's. Always great to have on. Great clarity, whether you're commentating, you're riding, you're racing. Please, guys, go see Ian down at 1080. Best prices, great advice on the way through. Extra discount, of course, for the riders in the DCG gang. If you are a member supporter, then it's on there. Now, don't forget, of course, OTE. They were our sponsors at the start. They're going to be running all the way through. There was 25% off, and we gave away, lost count actually, how many packs of goodies coming from OTE going out to our riders. They've all gone out there. Gritty, of course, they're coming up later on, and Gritty with that 20% discount again, just like OT and 1080. Loads of our riders are riding in that Gritty kits. Lots of new designs coming out. Neil really innovative in the kit that they're selling as well. Great to see, and of course all based on sustainable platform. Nonnas, well, what can we say about Nonnas other than it is the place to go, and a massive variety of things to choose from, an amazing menu, some fantastic food, and a lovely welcome. It's been a mainstay of riders from Ben's with Conswev, right the way through Macameli, right the way through to Russ, to Dean, to myself. Loads and loads of people, all our regular gang members. The Donny Chaingang in real life went there as well and had a lovely welcome. Please, guys, make sure you support them. We have, of course, Continental on here as well. Shelley, a long-term supporter of the gang. And we've got some great offers going to be coming your way a little bit later on in the year. Halo, of course, are our sponsors and looking after everybody at the moment. Halo Wheels, the website, all the details in there. 20% discount off a set of wheels. And we've got a great giveaway coming up as well. That's going to be coming up towards the end of the month. £200 voucher to use, as well as some kit coming out, jersey and shorts coming out in the direction of the riders who win in that giveaway. And of course we've got Veloskin. Veloskin, we saw Chris on the ride tonight. So some of the best kit going. Whether you are shaving your legs, your face, or whatever, I don't want to know. Whether you are moisturising because you've spent far too much time in a studio with zero humidity, whether you are looking after yourself because you've been out in the wind, putting in the riding. That's particularly true as we come now into winter. Look after that skin, it's going to look after you. It's got to last you a lifetime, let's face it. We've also got great things when you're sitting on the bike to keep you in contact. If you need to soothe those aches and pains, you've been stood up in the studio for about 2 weeks straight without much of a break. put it on. I think I'll be needing mine for the ride tomorrow. I'm heading out and around the lanes. If you're heading out around the Clumber Cut in your neck of the woods, I'm going to be out there tomorrow early doors, just get some miles in, trying to straighten my head out after what has been an incredibly busy period. So all that available to the members of DCG Gang. If you donate, you then get to have that ride. Now, Mark Grant putting a sprint time in and gets a new PB. You can just see him down there, just making his way through. So as he goes in, new PR as he goes through the sprint line there. That's Mark Grant putting in a top spot ride there, and comes in and through. So 72nd place for Mark tonight. Already 16 people not making it as far as Mark has around the road, just using that draft. There's nobody else to draft. He's coming up into our roller coasters. So as Mark heads up onto those roller coasters, remind us, guys, make sure if you're going to register, you do it in that window, 24 hours to 1 hour before. If you don't want to bother with all that malarkey, totally get that. Well, guess what? You don't have to. Join DCG Gang. That will get you the links out. Please, guys, try and do it before the day of the ride. Generally, emails go out at the weekend, and they go out generally on Tuesdays, which we had on a Thursday one. If there's been a lot of people who joined partway through, do try and cover everybody off. If you do join at some random time through the month, please send me a message on Facebook or similar. You can find me on Facebook. It's at Matt Fix of Pain, the same on Zwift. It's at Matt Fix of Pain on Strava. It is also the same across pretty much all of the social media. Please give Full Speed Events a follow. We cover all sorts of cycling events. So we've had the Donny Chaingang esports. We've got other cycling esports going on as well. We also have things like the UCI Gravel World Championships. We've got things like cycle ball, artistic cycling, mountain bike, XCC, XCE, XCO, the full gamut, some road racing as well. You can catch up with what's going on, where we're going to be. We've covered things like the Commonwealth Games, the World Championships, the European Championships. Please, guys, give us a follow. It's at Full Speed Events. You can catch up with Russ on social media. It's at Fonzie Downey. You can find him on the Facebook pages. You can follow me on Instagram. Catch up with Russ. Don't forget all our biggers on there as well. Emma, of course, the person stitching together the WOW DCG. That is at Biking Emma across all those social media platforms as well. And whilst you're on there, give the pages a like on the way through. Really, really critical. So, Mark, one of our key riders, on his way in. Let's take a check on Mark as he starts to make his way around these twists and turns. It's not going to be long before he's into that final descent in towards the line. So in with Mark once again, doing an amazing job. So Mark coming around those roller coasters, carrying that pace around 151 beats a minute, 70 rest on the way up the climb. This, the last of those roller coasters. He's going to come around this turn. There's a slight left on this 1% draggy section in towards the fork in the road. The left fork taking you in towards the volcano. The right-hand fork is the one that we all look forward to when we're coming in on this run in towards the downtown finish. Mark Grant coming in and through, takes that right-hand turn. Sorry for the overtime, Mark. Not at all. Always said, we see everybody off, we count them out, and we count them back in again, and that is always the case. We do this because we love it, because we love the community, and I've got to say, the whole of the Donny Chaingang community, absolute superstars. Thank you, everybody who has offered to help out when we had the flooding in the studio last week. We managed to get pretty much all covered off. You'll be glad to know we now even have the sewer down, covered over, and the block paving reinstated all the way down the side of the studio. So thank you very much, everybody who offered to come in, mop up, clean up, and help out. We've managed to get it all done and dusted, and managed to broadcast all the way through, albeit on a slightly reduced capacity on a couple of the days. We've managed to fulfill our commitments with the UCI as well as our other clients out there, including our partners in the Middle East. So gotta say a massive thank you to everybody who's offered to help. Don't forget to catch up with us. You can always message me at Matt Fitzpain and Biking Emma at Biking Emma. That's Emma Martin, of course, our WOW DCG leader, and of course Russ, always inundated with messages on the way through. So Mark Grant on his way into the line. Final kick for Mark to roll himself in and through. Well done, Mark. Congratulations. Make sure you use that warm down wisely. That warm down is there for a reason on all of the Donny Chaingang rides, whether that's a DCG Tuesday or Thursday or a WOW DCG, the women only Wednesdays. They're there to spin your legs out. Use them, be smart about it. There's a lot more rides coming up. If you're out over the weekend, don't forget, make sure you say hi, give everybody a wave on the way through, and get yourselves on to the Chaingang for next week. So from this week, week 2 of the Halloween October, from me, Matt Payne, from us, from everybody on the Donny Chaingang, have a great weekend. We'll see you on the other side of the weekend. Thank you very much. We'll see you next week.